So this tutorial was about how to do some text effects using the blend tool and some colors. So this is a voiceover over a recording that was silent originally. So bear with me. So red background right here. I'm gonna clean up a couple of things right there. I can see that there's a leftover of something, one little dirty spot there. There you go. So red background. Use the type tool to use type, and it's set in Rockwell Bold, 200 point. Different colors so we can see it. And what we're going to do here, we're going to copy it, paste in the back, so it's the same object twice, and I'm going to reduce the type size, so it's a smaller word behind it. And I'm going to just change the color a little bit here, just to tint off the red background, and move it down so you can see there's a one in the foreground, I should say, and one in the back. So I use the blend tool, I click on the first one, and then click on the second one behind. And this is what it does. It just blends it from one color to another. And here you have 100 specified steps. If I reduce it to 10, you can see every single step. So it's not as smooth. Down to 5, and it's really choppy, right? So I keep it at 100, so it's nice and smooth, and I can do pretty much everything I want to do with it. So at this point, I'm going to move that one around just to show, just by moving it around, it looks like it's 3D, but it's not. It's just two objects blended in. Just to see as a preview outline. Select both. Try to select that guy right there. Move it down, just to show you what it does, right? How it's set up. Basically, two objects, blend tool. I'll give it a bit of a rotate here to extend the E, shrink the T a little bit, even more like that. And then what I can do here as well, I can do a warp using, so make an envelope. So, and you can use a mesh or you can use a warp. And here I'm just going to use the warp tool. It's going to move that window over. And I'm using the arc tool. So 50%, 5%, 50% is a little bit more subtle. Yeah, maybe 10%, maybe it's got a little bit more curve. And then do the same thing with this one. So it's since the presets are already done, I just have to click on the mesh up there. And that's what it does. But before I do that, I should copy that guy again. And then apply it. Now I can paste it again. Remember I copied it. I can paste it again and paste in place. So it's the exact same spot again. But this one does not have the curve, the warp effect, right? And then I make it the red background. I make it darker this time. So I'm going to increase the cyan in there. And I'm going to increase the black as well to make it as if it was a shade of the red. So basically I'm creating a shadow here. So here I have a hard time again to select the object that is behind a couple that are on top, right? So I'm going to just duplicate that guy, increase it, and again I have a hard time selecting things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them into a different layer, just like that, grabbing the dot there. Now I can turn them on and off, and I can also lock them so I don't select them by accident. So here the first one, I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to make it really large, just as earlier, except it's the other way around. I'm making the shadow quite large. And again, my blend tool, click on the first one, click on the other, about right there. And it's kind of like, it does kind of like a semi-projection of it, right? That's the idea. And what I want to do is I want to change the opacity here. I'm going to my properties, bring it down to 0. Except it's backwards, so I want to put it in the background. So I want to send it to the back, and it looks like the shadow goes from 100% opacity here. Again, use the warp to a 0 opacity here. So it looks like it's basically a shadow that is projecting right here. And all it is, it's 4 times the word type using the blend tool. Here I'm going to try to change the blend steps because it was a little choppy there, but you know what? It's good enough like this. So all it is, it's 4 times the word type using the exact same warp tool the mesh warp, and the mesh warp can be customized as well. And this is what it looks like, right? It's still live type. You can still double click in the mesh warp tool and then change the type, but we're gonna keep it like this. And there you have some fake 3D looking type that looks like it's coming out of a red background, extruded, and with an extended shadow. So that didn't take long. So play around with those type of tools, those type of effects, and have some fun.